No, about 13 hens. And we have like 4 roosters, I think, but I'm about to butcher the roosters. Shabbat shalom, everybody. My apologies for the late start. Yeah, my bad. Nah. Huh? Huh? He's getting better. He's getting better. He's still in the hospital. No, he's still in the hospital. Yeah, he's been 90-some days now. So, but yeah. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Bam, you mind leading us a prayer? We're going to go ahead and get straight to it.
Heavenly Father, we'd like to say thank you once again on this beautiful Shabbat. We thank you for just waking us up this morning. Thank you for guiding us throughout these lives. We ask and pray that you continue to allow your truth to come forth, block the enemy on all obstacles, and guide us through this walk, Heavenly Father. Continue to watch over us, lead us, guide us, and protect us from all hurt, harm, and danger. Forgive us for all our sins, we pray. These are the blessings of God and Son, Yeshua's name. It is so.
So be it, so be it. Shabbat shalom. So y'all know that we are in the season of chewing the cud, right? Chewing the cud. So let me set this up so everybody can see. And we are good to go. So today's all about the truth about Easter, right? The truth about it. So getting into it, this is about subtitle, When the Appointing of Yahuwah Doesn't Stand, right? So John 4, verse 22. You worship, you know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews, or the Yahudim. In this hour, we truly have to know what we worship. Because with this age of information, there's really no excuse to research anything. That's what this whole chewing the cud thing is all about. Making sure that you're on point with what you're teaching, with what you're learning. Even if like you find mistakes in it, you're diligently seeking that thing to where you can get down to the ruta, to the tuta of it, right? So we know that tomorrow, like I said, is Easter, right? Easter. So what are we told that Easter is about?
It's supposed to be about the Messiah.
Right. Perfect. Perfect. That's what the world says, right? So I have a question for you. Is Easter found in the text?
No.
Are y'all sure about that?
Yes, it's not said as Easter, but we can go as far back to the covenant, the original covenant there, and we talked about it with some of our ancestors about some of the different names.
Bam, can you put that mic back there and you use this one over here?
Yeah.
So that way they can be heard? Yeah. Yeah. There we go. There we go. That'll work. Now what were you saying, Elder?
We're told in our covenant, the original covenant, that it talks about, I believe in Jeremiah's one off the top of my head. I know it is in other texts that our ancestors had wrote for our admonition, but it's all of a different name, like we talk about Isis and Ishtar.
There we go.
Venus. So it's nothing new under the sun. That's all I'm going to say.
Right. So the answer to my question is technically it is in the text. And we're going to go to it, and we're going to go to the 12th book of Acts. And I'm just going to read the first 4 verses because we have a lot. It says, Now about the time Herod the king stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the assembly. And he killed James, the brother of John, with the sword. And because he saw it pleased the Yahudim, he proceeded further to take Peter or Kepha also. Then were the days of unleavened bread. And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people. So we know that unleavened bread, the first day of it technically is really Passover, right? Passover leads into unleavened bread. But why would that be in Acts 12? It makes no sense. Because, I know a lot of us, we've gone over some of this before, but it shouldn't be in there. So like you were saying, we're going to go to the actual text and we're going to go over what the feast day was supposed to be called. So we're going to go to Leviticus 23. Leviticus 23, and we're going to read the first few verses. So it says, "And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, concerning the feast of Yahuwah, which you shall proclaim to be holy convocations. Even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Shabbat of rest, an holy convocation. You shall do no work therein. It is the Shabbat of Yahuwah in all your dwellings. These are the feasts of Yahuwah, even holy convocations, which you shall proclaim in their season." So what is a feast day?
It's the days that the Most High set apart. It's like the holy days for
Right.
His people.
Right. So what's the Hebrew word for it? Because they wouldn't have said feast day. What would they have said?
Passover. Is that?
Well, for feast day. So you remember it's Moed. Moed. Now, crazy, because you look at the definition. That's why it's so important to know the definitions. It literally says congregation, feast, season, appointed time, assembly. We know assembly means a government. Solemnity, solemn, days. It's a sign, and it can also be translated as a synagogue. So these days are signs that we are the creators, right? Just to make it simple, right? And if you keep going, it says appointed place, appointed time, meeting, sacred season. What is something that's sacred? What does that mean?
Sacred is set aside, and it's a sanctified day.
Right.
Holy.
It's like hallowed. It's like with great reverence. It's something to be remembered. It's something that you're supposed to do with honor, right? Not like a lot of the holidays that we have today, right? Because holidays go back to holy days, right? So again, these days are signs and seasons, right? So, bam, what is a holy convocation?
A convocation that's set aside.
A convocation that's set aside. Okay, the Hebrew word is mikra, right? It's just a convocation or an assembly. It's a gathering. So we all come together to worship the Most High, to learn from the Most High, to fellowship with one another, to continue to build the government of the Most High. That's why it's so important for us to be doing that. Because I remember I used to grow up, growing up in the quote unquote church, and parents and everybody used to always say it's a rehearsal. It's a rehearsal. It's a rehearsal. Like, what are y'all talking about? If you don't really read the definitions, you don't really understand that. Again, holy convocation means convocation, convoking, reading, a calling together, something called out, a public meeting, also a rehearsal. Because we know in the land, all of these days are going to be kept. La-di-da-di, everybody. That's why it's so important for us to be doing it. But the world tells us that none of this matters. Christ, he died on the cross. All that stuff under law, it's done away with. But he tells the children of Israel, these things are forever. So do we believe the Most High, or do we believe the world? That's what it comes down to, right? Because these are the most holy days of the Most High. Now, Ben, will you start reading?
On the 14th day of the first month, at evening is the Lord. The evening, right?
Mm-hmm. Evening, yep.
At evening is YAH'S Passover.
So we know that that's what it should have been called in Acts 12, verse 4. It should not have been Easter. But we know that they've had their hands in that, and they've infiltrated this thing to put that in there. Because a little bit later, we're going to see how many times it was actually translated for Easter in the book, right? But keep going.
On the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread until Yahweh. 7 days ye must eat unleavened bread.
So we know that Passover, we eat the Passover lamb, and we also are eating unleavened bread. But the days of unleavened bread didn't technically start until the next day. So the day after Passover is another moed, or another holy convocation, where we gather together and where we worship the Most High, and where we learn, and where we assemble to continue to create the government, right, for the Most High, right? Okay, keep going.
In the first day, you shall have a holy convocation. You shall do no, what's that word?
Servile.
Survival work therein.
So that's the day after Passover, right? The first day of unleavened bread. Okay.
But you shall offer an offering made by fire until Yahuwah 7 days. In the seventh day, in his holy convocation, you shall do no servile work therein.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
the first and the seventh day.
So you got Passover, then you got the first day of unleavened bread, and then 6 days later, on the seventh day, you have another holy convocation. Now, that's not counting the regular, if you have a midrash, that's not counting the regular Shabbat. Because sometimes it's just extra days where you're just worshiping the Most High. And these things should not be dreadful to us. We should be appreciating that time to really come closer together as a tribe and to give the Most High the honor that he's due, right? So we're just walking through so everyone can see this, right? Okay, keep going.
And Yahweh spake and said unto Moses, Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When ye be come into the land which I give unto you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, then ye shall bring sheaf?
Sheaf. Mm-hmm.
Sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest unto the priest. Mm-hmm. And ye shall wave the sheaf before Yahuwah to be accepted for you. On the morrow after the Shabbat, the priest shall wave it. What's a sheep?
It's like this. I don't even know how really to describe it, but it's this thing that holds it all. Like it's almost like a basket. It's like a basket type of thing.
And you shall offer that. You shall offer that day when you wave the sheep, and
he lamb.
Yeah,
that's how they talk. It's weird.
Without blemish. Oh, the he lamb, okay, it's male lamb. He lamb without blemish for the first year for a burnt offering unto Yahweh.
So as soon as you get first fruits, you got to offer something to the priest, point blank, period. So that's where the idea for the tithe actually comes from, right? Keep going.
And the meat offering thereof shall be 2 tenths deals of fine flour mingled with oil, an offering made by fire unto Yahweh for a sweet savor. And the drink offering thereof shall be of wine, the fourth part of an hin.
So again, you see wine again, because again, Christianity, they tells you to stay away from wine. Wine's a mocker, this is and that. But the Most High, he's ordained certain things to go to him. And we're going over this because as men, we are priests of our household. So we should know these things, especially when we're teaching spouses, teaching our children, right? Okay, keep going.
And you shall eat neither bread, nor parched corn, nor green ears, until the self-same day that ye have brought an offering unto your Elohim. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generation and all your dwellings.
So again, you can't even eat of the first fruits of anything until you give that to the priest before the Most High, giving him the first fruits. You got to examine that thing to make sure it's presentable, acceptable to the Most High, because he can reject you. We don't want to be like old Cain, who got rejected. He didn't just give the Most High anything. Like, here you go. You can just take that. This ain't the best of what I got, right? So again, say what? Take that. So this is where the concept of tithe and all this stuff comes from, right? Now we're going to jump to Numbers 28 so we can get finally, when we get through this, we'll get back into the actual lesson part. I just want to show y'all certain things. So just keep going, Bam.
And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Command the children of Israel, and say unto them, My offering and my bread, for my sacrifices made by fire, for a sweet savor unto me. Shall ye observe to offer unto me in their due season? And thou shalt say unto them, This is the offering made by fire which ye shall offer unto Yahweh. 2 lambs of the first year without spot, day by day, for a continual burnt offering.
So we know at Passover, what is the sacrifice for Passover? It's a lamb, right? Because yeah, so Messiah or Mashiach, he's our Passover lamb. But originally you had to slay a lamb, right? And you had to put the blood on the doorpost, right? So it's a lamb. But now it just said that for the day-by-day offering, it said that it's what? Read that again.
2 lambs.
2 lambs. So keep going. So what does that mean?
It's 2 seeds.
Huh? It is 2 seeds. I'd say 2 digestions.
Oh, the cud.
Of the cud, right? But keep going.
The one lamb shalt thou offer in the morning, and the other lamb thou shalt offer in the evening.
Day by day. So we know that there's one appointed time for everybody for Passover. Everybody that's of us eats and supposed to eat of this Passover lamb, right? But the priests have to slaughter two of them day by day, one in the morning and one in the evening, right? So what is that significance? Oh, I think Elder got it. Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, one is to cover the sins of our Levitical ancestors.
Mhm.
I mean, they're just like us. I mean, not perfect. And then the other one was for the sins of the people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's right. That's right. There's more to it, but that you're spot on. So we're gonna go to Genesis 22, right? So we know that there was a lambs that were slain at the Passover when they exited, right? So we're gonna go to Genesis 22. We're gonna start at verse 7, going to 14. Go ahead, Bam.
And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, and said, My father. And he said, Here am I, my son. And he said, Behold, the fire and the wood, but where is their lamb for a burnt offering? And Abraham said, My son, Yahweh would provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together. And they came into a place which Elohim had told him of, and Abraham built the altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bounded Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand, and took the knife to slay his son.
So the Most High, he's testing Abraham, right? And he's literally about to pass the test and kill his son. Now, does the Most High like it when we actually do human sacrifice?
No.
No. Especially not no doggone child. The Most High, he's not in that. Again, he was testing Abraham, right? So as we continue, it says, And the angel of Yahuwah called unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Lay not thine hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that you fear me, or you fear Elohim, seeing that you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him, a ram caught up in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. And Abraham called the name of that place Yahuwah, as it is said to this day, in the mount of Yahuwah it shall be seen. So really the significance is Passover. The priest has to take Passover every day. You see them having to sacrifice a lamb twice a day. You see what happened in the Exodus, right? The Exodus, they had to sacrifice a lamb, sprinkle the blood over the doorpost, and then they were able to leave, because Passover is really about an Exodus. An Exodus is really about a tribe. And that's about a tribe or people becoming a nation. So that second one that's actually slain in the evening is for this future Exodus that's coming. Right? That's why Yahusha died for that thing, because this is going to be a greater one, because we're not all going to be consolidated in one place like they were in Egypt. That's why his sacrifice is greater than any blood of an animal or a goat, right? So that's why it was two different ones, because we had to do it for the first Exodus. That was actually the blood that was shed for this next one that's coming. That's going to be a greater Exodus, right? But again, the priest has to take Passover every day, a lamb and a drink offering with the wine, right? Just wanted y'all to be able to see that. So we go back to, we're going to Numbers 28. Back to Numbers 28. Go ahead, man.
And a tenth part of it, what's the word?
Ephah.
A fat of flour for a meat offering, mingled with the fourth part of a hin of beaten oil. It is a continual burnt. That's right. It is a continual burnt offering, which was ordained in the Mount of Sinai for a sweet savor, a sacrifice made by fire unto Yahweh. And the drink offering thereof shall be the fourth part of a hin for the one lamb in the holy place. In the holy place shalt thou cause the strong wine to be poured unto Yahweh for a drink offering.
So wait a minute. So he just said fake wine, grape wine.
He said strong wine.
So what does wine represent?
The good stuff.
Huh? Hey, just like we was talking about last Shabbat, right? The good stuff, right? At the end of the marriage, right? At the end of the wedding, right? But what did the wine represent?
The blood.
The blood of the what? Of the covenant. But it also represents the doctrine of the truth of the Most High. So that's why you got to be strong and firm in that, especially if you are the appointed of the Most High. You got to know it and you got to be firm in that thing. Because if you're not firm in it, you're going to fall to a strong or a strange delusion. So everything, because again, Christianity tells you stay away from wine, stay away from all this and that. So why do they want strong drink, the priest to be having that? That don't make no sense. It's symbolic of what the blood, of what the doctrine is supposed to be to you. It's supposed to be something strong that's going to have a kick to it. It's going to stick to you. Maybe make you sit down and have some sense. Act like you got a sound mind or something, you know? But again, this is different. So you start looking at it like, man, so the priest, there's 2 lambs that get sacrificed every day, and there's drink offerings with it. There's wine. So they get tipsy at least, minimum. Hopefully not tipsy. Huh? But yeah, I'm just saying though. So again, the stuff, it's deeper than what the surface level, right? Keep going.
And the other lamb shall thou offer at evening, and the meat offering of the morning, as the drink offering thereof, thou shalt offer it, a sacrifice made by fire of a sweet savor unto your body.
Right. And again, so the reason why these priests are supposed to be taking this every day is because it's really an initiation into an order, right? The order of Melchizedek. But if you don't submit to the order of the Most High, you won't ascend to see that or to even under or overstand that. That's why then the Most High was like, well, I told you you're going to be a nation of kings and priests. I'm going to give you all a Passover so you all can be initiated into the order of Melchizedek, a higher order where signs, wonders, and miracles can follow you, right? As long as you follow Mashiach. Go ahead, Elder.
I was listening to Brother Van talking about they was I know you kind of joke a little bit, having a grand old time, but I don't really think that if you have to slaughter animals every day, because think about it. How many of us are really butchers in this land? I mean, we do this as necessity.
Right.
I know at one time, you know, when we had our nation and also before integration, you know, we had everything in our, you know, in our communities. But if anybody's ever slaughtered animals, then, you know, you get blood on you.
Yeah.
Okay, and blood doesn't come off easily.
No, it don't.
When it gets on your clothes, and it's just like wine. Have you ever got spoiled?
That's why it represents
wine,
it. Yep.
It does. Wine stains don't come out easy, and blood stains do not come out easy. So I mean, I don't really think that our ancestors that was of the Levites really was into really, because I mean, something about even you know, I mean, I don't like slaughtering anything. I don't like.
Right.
It's just something that goes through my mind.
Right.
And I think most of us as a people really don't. I mean, even with animals, I mean, even the Most High says in somewhere in, I mean, in one of the 5 books, that a man that is just cruel to animals just to be cruel, that he doesn't care for that. So I mean, our people really ain't into that, you know, the blood and guts.
Right.
Like that.
Right. Especially not now.
That's not natural to us.
Yeah. No. I agree. Where were you going with?
Well, where I was going with it is that these priests, they didn't want to do this. Really.
They probably didn't.
That's all
But this became their inheritance because they didn't have an inheritance in the land. So in all of the cities, right, throughout Israel, there would be places where the Levites could stay at. But again, they don't have an inheritance. Their inheritance is the Most High. So the Most High, when he started creating all of these offerings, right, that was so since they don't have an inheritance in the land, they could have still have substance. That's why the tithe was for the Levites, the strangers, the fatherless, the widow, right? So everything that the Most High does, it's an order behind it. He's just like, okay, but no, we didn't really. Nobody likes butchering doggone animal. I've done it. Bam's done it. We've done it. It's horrible. It stank. But what is like when you have to butcher an animal, and you think about the animal sacrifices in the old temples? What was the Most High trying to get you to do? Because it's explained in the New Testament.
Obey.
and mortify your members. So this innocent animal don't have to die for your sins. But even with that, the Most High still had 2 lambs that was going to be sacrificed every day because it was foreshadowing the things to come. But go ahead.
And also, what I'm thinking about it, it also was an example that to us that what's happening to this animal. If you
Facts.
If you don't obey my laws, statutes, and commandments, it's going to happen to you.
The Most High was going to get it in blood. That's why when covenants, they would sacrifice an animal to make a blood covenant. They wouldn't sacrifice people. They would do an animal, make a figure 8, walking in between it. And it would be, it's like you saying, let what happened to this animal happen to me if I break the covenant. So you were completely right. Spot on, Elder. Spot on. Completely right. Were you going to say something, Bam?
No, I was just like, cause to piggyback on what he was saying. So when they brought the offering up, they didn't. I thought the people killed, but it was actually the priest who was killing it.
Well, okay, so that's the everyday sacrifice that we were reading about, right? So the 2 lambs that have to get sacrificed every day, that's the priest, because right. Oh, keep going.
And a silver tin deal for flour mingled with oil for a meat offering unto 1 lamb, for a burnt offering, for a sweet savor, a sacrifice made into fire unto your body. I just read that.
Keep going.
And their drink offering shall be half of a hin of wine unto a bullock, and the 3rd part of a hin unto a ram, and a 4th part of a hin unto a lamb.
Wine.
This is the burnt offering for every month throughout the months of the year.
So then not just every day, then for every new month, there's a different sacrifice you have to do with wine also. It's always about Passover if you can actually see it, right? He's always foreshadowing it. Keep going, finish it up.
And 1 kid of goats for a sin offering unto your vow shall be offered beside the continual burnt offering and his drink offering.
Right. So that's the offerings, right? Drink offerings represent the blood of the covenant and doctrine, strong doctrine. So you want to be strong in the Most High. You better take that stiff drink. That's the stiff drink you want to take, right? So back to the question about Acts 12 in verse 4. So why is it in there? I'm going to read it again. It says, and when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people. So we're going to see the word that's actually there. So the word is Pascha or Passover. Now, it was translated 29 times. One time they decided to make it Easter. And it's right there in Acts 12, verse 4. Makes no sense at all. You look at it like, okay, so every other time it's Passover. But right here, you want to make it Easter. You got an agenda. So just to make sure y'all know, it says Paschal. The Paschal sacrifice, which was accustomed to be offered for the people's deliverance of old from Egypt. The Paschal lamb, the lamb the Israelites were accustomed to slay and eat on the 14th day of the month Nisan, the first month of their year, in memory of the day on which their fathers, preparing to depart from Egypt, were bidden by Elohim to slay and eat a lamb, and to sprinkle their doorposts with his blood, that the destroying angel, seeing the blood, might pass over their dwellings. Christ crucified is likened to the slain Paschal lamb, right? So we see that, right? The Paschal supper, right? The Passover supper, not the Last Supper, but
My version says it doesn't have Easter in it. It has.
on the KJV? Oh, they switched it?
This one is on the New American Standard Bible.
Okay, well maybe it's just the KJV then.
Because
But
this one says Passover.
that's perfect. Well, I know in the KJV, it still says Easter for some strange reason. That's where I pulled it from. I was like, why is that in the KJV? That don't make no sense. And so, it's always at the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, right? So we're going to pull from this book called The Two Babylons by Alexander Hislop. Can you read that, Mel? Can you see it or no?
Yeah, I see.
Okay.
2 Babylons. Then look at Easter. What means the term Easter itself? It is not a Christian name. It bears its Chaldean origin on its very forehead. Easter is nothing else than
Astarte.
Astarte.
If that's what you said earlier.
One of the titles of Beltis, the Queen of Heaven, whose name as pronounced by the people
Of Nineveh.
of Nineveh
So now, so it's not Israelites, right, that first came up with this, right? Okay, keep going.
was
Evidently,
evidently identical with that now in common use in this country.
hmm
That name was found by what's the word?
layered
Layered on the
Assyrian.
Assyrian monuments in Ishtar.
It's Ishtar, right?
Ishtar.
Mm-hmm.
The worship of Baal and
Astarte.
Astarte was very early introduced into Britain, along with the Druids, the priests of the groves.
So none of this stuff about the name Easter has anything to do with the Israelites. We're seeing this origin, right? We're going to keep going. I'm going to read this one. It says, if Baal was thus worshipped in Britain, it will not be difficult to believe that his consort Astarte was also adored by our ancestors, and that from Astarte, whose name is in Nineveh was Ishtar, the religious solemnities of April, as now practiced, are called by the name of Easter. That month, among our pagan ancestors, having been called Easter Manath, the festival of which we read in church history under the name of Easter in the 3rd or 4th century, so that's way after Mashiach, was quite a different festival from that now observed in the Romish church, and at that time was not known by any such name as Easter, so it wasn't even called that. It was called Pascha or Pesach or Passover or the Passover, and though not of apostolic institution, was very early observed by many professing Christians in commemoration of the death and resurrection of Mashiach. So even in the early centuries, they were still keeping Passover. They weren't keeping Easter. Go ahead.
So the name Nineveh,
Nineveh, yeah.
have you seen the eclipse videos?
I've seen some. I haven't covered. I'm not going to cover it probably until Wednesday.
That's wild.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's all connected.
No, that's wild.
It's really all connected, yeah. You start like, because Elder Mike, he's been asking me the same thing, and I'm like, yeah, I'm waiting. I'm trying to make sure I get all the right information first, but more than likely either Wednesday or next Shabbat we'll be talking about that prior to the eclipse. But yeah, it is wild. I know what you're talking about. It is wild. So then it says, y'all know who Socrates is? He was this great philosopher, right? It says, Socrates, the ancient ecclesiastical historian, after a lengthy account of the different ways in which Easter was observed in different countries in his time, i.e. the 5th century, so that's the 400s, sums up in these words: thus much already laid down may seem a sufficient treatise to prove that the celebration of the feast of Easter began everywhere more of custom than by any commandment, either of Mashiach or any apostle. So it's a custom throughout the world, but it's not mandated by the Most High. Why is the world keeping Easter tomorrow?
Because they're evil, I guess. It's a feel-good thing. They made it to where it feels good to them. It's like, hey.
They're keeping it just because of what we're studying right now. We're still in Babylon.
And we're reading from the book, The Two Babylons. Right. That's actually poetic. Like you said, we are in Babylon, and it's because this is a tradition of man. And we don't have, like Elder Bernie always talks about, we don't have the excuse or the grace that a lot of other people have, because this information is literally out there.
Right there.
You can Google if it's pagan or not. It's literally a Googleable offense. Literally. But people are too lazy to even do that. No. I got to put on my Sunday's best. You know, it's Easter Sunday. You know, I got to go get these eggs. Give me that chocolate bunny.
They always blame it on the children or why they can't go into the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's the kids want this, well, go buy them a basketball. Go buy them their own. You want some boiled egg here, but I ain't gonna decorate it for you. You gonna
Right.
get boiled egg like you eat it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a feel good holiday. That's it. And it's crazy because it's only stated one time.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else, the feast days, what the Father wants us to do, the commandments, everything, the laws, that's repetitive.
All the way
And
through.
it's not honored.
Mm-mm. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make this brief.
Go ahead.
But a lot of people don't realize, like with this, with Easter, it is it's grove worship. What they did in the grove.
Talk about it.
You're talking about pedophilia and all that. But you talking about that was a legalized day to go ahead and rape. So you have to understand where it goes with the colored jelly beans and the colored eggs and with the Easter bunny.
Talk about it.
The eggs are the symbol. It's a fertility.
Fertility.
The rabbit quick like a bunny because they multiply so fast.
Real
When you
fast.
saw the different colored jelly beans, the colored eggs, and all that, what they used to do, and you can look at this yourself and do the research on it. It's out there. They would dress up all these young ladies, these maidens, because a maiden is a virgin. And they would take them and dress them up in these different colors.
Yep.
And then you'd have the men would go ahead and when they cast lots, they would go ahead and get these jelly beans or colored rocks, whatever they did, and whatever color you drew, you would get to go out and and the women that had that color dress on or whatever outfit, you can go out there and legally go ahead and take them and rape them and stuff.
Wow.
And then when you talk about
Happy Easter. Oh.
yeah, but so I mean I'm just without going ahead and taking it
Go ahead.
all the way. I mean I'm just
Go ahead.
This is actually when you talk
History,
about
yep.
grove worship and when the tradition of putting on your Sunday's best, you know,
Wow.
this is where all that came from because the men that naturally of higher stature that had at that time that had their Sunday's best, because all this was going on so-called Sunday, sun worship. This is when this all took place. You know, they would get first crack at these virgins and stuff. Oh, it's interesting, but this is what what we was taught coming up is a lot of times was okay.
Yeah. That's why you see a lot of wickedness in the churches. You got the older men and messing with the little kids and getting people pregnant and all that weirdo nonsense because there's a whole spirit behind it. Spirit of Easter, as it were. So then it says, so again, this is more of a custom than by any commandment, either of Mashiach or any apostle. Everyone knows that the name Easter, used in our translation of Acts 12:4, refers not to any Christian festivals. We know we're not Christians. Not to the but to the Jewish Passover. So everyone knows it. It should be common knowledge. This is one of the few places in our version where the translators show undue bias, right? They did that for no reason. So, we're just talking about out of the mouth of two or three witnesses. So that was the two Babylons. So now we're going to go to fossilized customs. So what Easter really represents in one word, rebellion. That's what Easter is really about. Easter is flat out rebellion. So it says, the appointed times of Yahuwah are totally ignored by the reign of Babel. But you may say, the word Easter is in my King James Version. Translations are not inspired, and errors exist by the tens of thousands in many translations. The word in the Greek that underlies the word Easter is the KJV. In the KJV is Pascha, and it means Passover, from the Hebrew word Pesach. All scholars admit that this is an error in translation, and it only appears once at Acts 12:4. All scholars, not any, every last single one of them. So why is it in the King James Version? Oh, okay, they done made it, okay. Luke, who wrote almost 40% of the Nazarene writings or the Hebrew writings of the New Testament, didn't put it there as Easter. The KJV is the only translation with this error. There was a previous English translation made by the Catholic priest John Wycliffe during the 14th century. He lived from 1320 to 1384. Shabbat Shalom. And his bones were burned in effigy for this unauthorized English word. Because he didn't translate it as Easter, they're going to burn that man's bones. As Bam says, man, them folks pitiful. That don't make no sense. You going to burn somebody's bones? So, like what the elder was talking about, right? Getting down to the origins of what Easter is really about. Again, in one word, Easter is about rebellion. We're going to go to 1 Samuel 15, verses 22 and 23. And Samuel said, have Yahuwah as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices. He don't, and we don't like having to butcher no animals either. As in obeying the voice of Yahuwah. Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of Yahuwah, he has also rejected you from being king. And to be honest, in America and some other places, the Most High, he's really rejected the men from being kings of their households. Because we are the appointed of Yahuwah. And we don't step up. Still don't. We won't put our foot down. We walk on pins and needles. And sometimes we just won't even put in the work to actually gain the knowledge to be able to teach our families. Right? We all got to do better. Myself included. Because like these next generations, they got to know it. Like Jessica, she was talking about how, people be coming to her children about different holidays and they flat out, they tell them. No, we don't do that because that ain't in the book. That's how all our kids should be. All of our children, our spouses, they should all be like that. Like, no. If you want to talk about the book, let's talk about the book. Don't talk about Easter in them, because Easter, it really ain't in there. It's in the King James Version, but it's really not in there. All translators can admit that, right? So again, this is about rebellion. Because Easter is really Semiramis. And Semiramis was married to who? Nimrod, right? And you see, they had a son, right? Tammuz, right? And this has to do with witchcraft and alchemy. Easter. She goes by many names. She's very seductive and very tricky. She's a very strange woman. Rebellion. Nimrod, the first king of the earth. He was the grandson of Ham. His secular title is suspected to be Sargon I, and he built Babylon and Nineveh. It was possibly Nimrod who built the Tower of Babel, a ziggurat made of bricks. The ruins still exist today. Nimrod was a tyrant, and that is what his name means. He was a mighty hunter before Yahuwah. The word before means against in the Hebrew. Nimrod turned the people against the truth and began the worship of sky luminaries. Children were sacrificed in exchange for prosperity. So when you see everything that's going on with Diddy, with everything was going on with Weinstein, child sacrifice, human trafficking, worshiping luminaries, flat out rebellion. Oh, it's good to see the four of y'all. I'm glad y'all made it. Go ahead.
When you look at Merrill Lynch, these people, the bull is always significant for them. Going back to with Nimrod, when you look at
talk about it.
That when they were sacrificing Molochism, which all came out from Nimrod, you always had the man's body with the head of a bull, and it would hold that they would have his hands set outward, and they would have fire burning under the hands, and you would go ahead and throw your child, your little baby, a little young child on these hands, literally, and the child would burn and scream on these hands of this idol. Well, see, this all stems to taking it to the 20th century.
Abortion.
With abortion, that still is Molochism, and it's all was aimed at the tribe of Yahudah, this Israelites period, but mainly those of us, because the southern tribe, the Yahudian, was brought over here to mainly the Americas. So everything has been plotted against us to keep us in rebellion to the Most High. When they came on with what's her name, Margaret Sanger, baby?
Oh yeah, that devil. Yeah.
What do you think? What was the first thing that the Ashkenazian did? Because that's what she is.
Yeah.
She's related to Bill Gates and all that.
Oh yeah.
Read it for yourself. But first thing that she did is she went to the black preachers to
Got to get them on board.
to get them on board.
Most of them are boule.
To go ahead and have these abortion clinics in our communities, because we had communities at that time, not hoods, not neighborhoods.
Communities.
We had actual communities at one time, and that's what they would do. They get these black preachers on board, and because with them, they always had we call them
Planned Parenthood.
Fertility.
Yeah.
They was trying to raise their population.
What?
They was trying to exterminate us.
Yeah, why do you think they really came out with condoms and all this other type of stuff? They ain't worried about everybody else. They worried about y'all procreating. They want y'all on all that stuff. They want us.
And this is where it even comes down to, if you want to talk about what the Christian mentality, the slave mentality, where it was never. It was only a couple groups of people out of the Israelite nation that was only supposed to have one wife. And that was the priests and the kings. But I mean, so they say, you know. But everybody else could have more, whatever you could afford, and do it in the righteous way. That was designed telling us that we were only supposed to have just one wife. And that was to keep our population down. Because see, prior to, shortly after we were emancipated, that's when they came up with, let's keep records of these Israelites, how they procreate, what they doing in bed, okay? That wasn't because of them. That was to go ahead and keep our numbers in check.
Yeah, you
They
already
didn't want
know.
us to go ahead and have more than one wife, because doing it the right way, you're building a nation.
Yeah.
You know.
Way faster.
Yeah, you're building a nation, and you have people in line. I sat back and think of it. If I would have known what I know now as far as the wisdom, man, you think about how what I would have as far as a business possibly.
Yeah.
Have sons. My daughters would be highly desired by righteous men, you know, and here it is, be an old man, and they be saying, that's the old cat that got all this started.
No, for real though. He did get it started though. But child sacrifice. That's a major thing America is going to have to pay for. You heard about what goes on at the Bohemian Grove and all these other places, with all these secret organizations doing these rituals and everything. Child sacrifice. You see professional athletes, all of a sudden out of nowhere, their child ends up dying out of nowhere. Next thing you know, even if it's an actor, they get this big movie role of a lifetime. Or that person, they get traded to the team that ends up winning the championship, and you end up finding out that they done sacrificed their kid or father or spouse for this alleged prosperity. Even Joe Biden sacrificed his first wife for what he has now. And his son, man, never mind. Go ahead. Huh?
Bill Cosby?
Yeah, Bill Cosby, yeah.
Could you elaborate on that a little bit there, teacher?
On what?
Because I've heard about that, a little bit about the Bohemian Grove, but I never really just had time to really look in depth on what it,
I mean,
I've heard about it for,
it's where the elites go. They have security around it. If you're not in the know, you can't get in there. You walk around there, security is going to stop you because there's people that have tried to get in or snuck in or whatever, and you can mess around and get killed. But like, they claim that they just do a ritual sacrifice to where they don't actually kill somebody. They mimic killing somebody before Moloch or whatever. But they, come on now. You ain't fooling me.
Is that Bohemian Grove? Because I heard something about it's out there in California. They have somewhere out there.
I believe that's where it's at, right?
But I mean, like I said, I'm not totally for sure. That's why I'm asking. You studied a little bit more on it in depth.
I mean, yeah, but again, they do a lot of secret rituals to where if you're not actually in there, like a lot of the information that comes from that come from people who got out of the occult, and then they be telling us, hey, they be doing this, they be doing that. There'll be child sacrifices. You gotta go around naked. You gotta be a part of these sex orgies and all this other kind of craziness. rebellion.
Jewish people know of it too.
Right.
Because it was an audio that me and Manny had listened to.
Mm-hmm.
The guy was talking about that type of ritual
I gotta find that.
sacrifice. And it's one of your old laptops.
I know.
But he said they sacrificed real children, men, women.
When?
Huh?
On Easter. That's when all of this stuff would start going down.
They would bathe in the blood, drink of the blood, and the guy was asking them questions. He said, well, okay, if this...
Give him the mic,
let's
bro.
say this is real. And the guy was asking questions, and he said, now let's say if this is real, then what do they do with the bodies of these children and these men and these women that are being sacrificed? And he said, well, that's where the major meat companies come in. They put them in just with the beef and the pork and just throw the bodies in there. Whole bodies and everything that they did not use during that sacrifice, it goes to that. And that meat is sold to their major industries, like he named off one. He said, McDonald's
Let them know. If you eat McDonald's burger, you eating people burgers. People burgers. I gotta find that one because
That troubled me for a while, because like just thinking of, just the part where he said McDonald's is our most favorite one that they cater to. And I was like, well, who's the rest of them? What could be the rest?
Yeah.
Of them? So I just started paying attention to what's on TV with like Taco Bell, their commercials and stuff, talking about the Bell Illuminati or whatnot and all of that, and then they had more commercials just with these women flying around looking like different deities and whatnot, and I was like, well, they selling the meat.
Yep. Yep.
Like it's right there in front of us.
Walk like a duck, quack like a duck. That's
Just
bam.
the same thing with Wendy's as well. Like, how are you
$40.
supposedly saying that your meat is never frozen, it's always fresh and
Yeah.
refrigerated? How are you able to keep that?
Yeah, that's not that don't even sound right. That sounds like a
So-
whole lie.
We don't do like you now.
Yeah.
And that's why. Because not only are we eating our own people or other people, it's just how can they make these statements, over 1 billion served? Where are you getting all this meat to serve over 1 billion people?
Yeah.
It's not all just animal.
And we have
Hold on, but like we gotta keep going though. We're gonna keep going. Good point. Okay, so what did the horn represent? We talked about it on mid-rest. Y'all remember? A horn.
Symbolizes power.
Power, a king or a kingdom, right? So it says Nimrod, right? He wore a headpiece with a horn in front as a ruler, right? A symbol of his power and authority. This is where that idea comes from. Kings' crowns with horns use this design because they're all secretly paying homage to Nimrod. The marauding heathens of Genghis Khan and the Vikings of the Norse wore horned hats and helmets to instill fear. Nimrod's idolatry and ruthlessness caused his uncle Shem to destroy him. So this man was so wicked that he had to cut his body into parts and distributed it around the kingdom because they never wanted it to come back together. So there's a lot of secret legends about that the Jewish people or the occult people, they're actually trying to find all of the members of Nimrod and bring them back together. And a lot of people try to say that's really what they're doing with the DNA and with CERN. They're trying to find a way to bring Nimrod back because they want that rule to come again, right? Yeah, but again, horn, right, represents power. But like this is the way they think, Again, horn is power. Keep going. This is about rebellion. It is said Nimrod took his mother, Semiramis, as a wife. At his death, his wife/mother consoled the people of Sumer by saying she carried Nimrod's child and named him Tammuz. So I got a question for you. Now, in the text, in the scriptures, does it say we can take our mother for a wife?
No,
You so?
I ain't said that.
That's not like a holy thing or anything, is it? That just sounds crazy. Nimrod, she explained, had gone into the heavens and was now the son. So the sun was the father, and the earth was the mother. This is where the whole concept comes from, Mother Earth. Semiramis was, in effect, a deity representing the earth mother. She was worshipped as Ishtar. Today she is called Easter. So I'm pretty sure we knew most of that, right? Or some of it. But whenever you say Mother Earth, you're really talking about Easter. That's what you're talking about. As we keep going. The original witch, she an OG. OG. The original witch on planet Earth was Semiramis, or Easter, who became the great mother in many cultures. The mother of the gods and Mother Nature are references to her. Rome's title for her was Terra Mater, Mother Earth. So that's what Rome and the Pope call her, right? Witches refer to her on bumper stickers as the goddess, or great goddess, Magna Dea. She is known by the various names Ishtar, Easter, Venus, Aphrodite, Gaia, Diana, Church, Sybil, Juno, Rhea, and to the Hindus she is Durga. Pagans worshipped in trinities inherited from Babel, a father, a mother, and a child. Babel is the reigning head of the world's authoritarian control. So again, the idea of trinities come from Babylon. It don't come from the book. It comes from Babylon. Because when people try to explain certain things, I'll listen. And a lot of the stuff makes sense. You know, you see things poetically put different ways in Scripture. But then you got to sit back and think, well, so let's talk about something. So we are known as the body of Mashiach. But we're also known as the bride of Christ. Why is that?
Well, the king, he did say that the kingdom is within you, for one. So, I mean, you kind of have to...
That's not it.
Okay.
I forgot. You taught us this a while back.
So when a man marries a woman, she becomes what?
Part of the flesh.
Bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. So Mashiach's bride is a whole nation of people, of believers. But is that like one spiritual being? We're one in mind, but is that one spiritual being? So when you start getting in that Trinity matrix or concept, you have to think like, wait a minute. The Son, he's married to the whole nation and then those that cleave to him. So that can kind of help you kind of sift through that kind of stuff like Trinities. Okay, let me stay away from that. Because the Most High, he's everything. I mean, the Spirit is everything. In everything. Like, he really don't need us for nothing. Point blank period. But again, the Trinity idea came from Babylon. So whenever you start seeing certain or hearing certain things like that, you got to filter that like, okay, wait a minute. Do we actually see that here? Is it like written in the text? Or is it projected by somebody's theology into the text? Because it's not really like that. If we're all the bride or the body of Mashiach, that's not just one being, to say the least. But as we continue, does that make sense, or am I okay? Just making sure. Okay, so Easter was not about Mashiach. It's not. It's a huh?
The Roman Catholics say Father, Son, the Holy Spirit. That Trinity. Counterfeit. And then the hats that they wear, like the fish head.
Yeah, the Pisces, right? Like the age that we're coming out of, right? The Piscean age, right? Yeah, they wear that. They're what is that god? Dagon is who they're really giving homage to when they're wearing those fish hats or whatever. Yeah, but it's not to the Most High. It's a whole nother deity. But people, if you look at the pictures, like in the Vatican, that stuff be looking demonic. I'd be looking at that like,
Yeah, I'm scared.
you the vicar of Christ? You the vicar of Mashiach? I don't think Mashiach want us around all these skulls, and you got all of these alleged dead saint skulls, and a lot of them we know ain't really the dead saints. There was somebody else. Could be a dog's bone for all we know. Oh yeah, this can heal you. Here you go. Bless you, my child. Now kiss the ring. But again, so
One question.
go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
It's in the news
Yes.
yesterday.
Ooh, what happened?
Pope not recognizing Good Friday. And where did the word Good Friday come from?
We know that if Mashiach died on Friday, that is not a good day. That wouldn't be a good day. Because he died, and our people said what? Let his blood be upon us. So that is not a good day. We know why he came, but that. So I didn't know that he didn't recognize it. But I mean, too many people waking up like,
But he recognized Easter,
oh man.
but he didn't recognize.
Of course he did. He's got to keep the law. I mean,
So they were trying to, in the news, figure out how do you get 3-4 days into a day and a half.
yeah, that's why he didn't recognize Good Friday. Just Happy Easter.
Yeah.
Mount the Babes,
Right.
right?
Tell us that.
Bryce and Devin, Young Kings. Yeah, that's why I didn't know that. I'm going to have to check that out, actually. So, again, Easter, right? Different symbols of Easter. Now, I know we talked about it before. Y'all are aware that the Statue of Liberty is a statue dedicated to Easter, right? Semiramis, right? We tracking it. Okay. Easter. And if you know anything about Easter, you know it's connected to what holiday? Almost 9 months later.
Halloween.
Christmas. He really said Halloween. He really said it with a straight face. He said Halloween. No. It's connected to Christmas, right? Because 9 months later, there's a birth. Because again, this is sun worship. And again, Semiramis, she's the original witch, right? This word, Easter, has been adopted from pagans as the name of the Earth Mother, Queen of Heaven, or Mother Nature. If you recognize Halloween for what it is, bam, then this will be no different after you learn the truth. Easter was already one of the two biggest celebrations observed by pagans long before, quote-unquote, Christianity. Easter was celebrated by the Assyrians and the Philistines. Goliath, no doubt, had an Easter basket. So I was just like, wait, Goliath, he was keeping Easter?
You mean that giant?
That uncircumcised Philistine was keeping Easter? Stop playing. But again, all this stuff is Googleable, researchable. It's not hard to find. I bought a few different books for different subjects, and then I ended up finding this stuff in there. And I'm like, oh, wow, okay.
Did you do your education purpose thing already?
Oh, fair use. This is for educational and training purposes. Thank you, sis. Good luck on that. Fair use, because YouTube be YouTubing, huh?
It would be on first slide.
Yeah.
Every time.
That needs to be on the first slide every time?
First slide.
Every time? Yeah, disclaimer. Warning. June, you mind reading this one?
You should look up Easter in the Webster's Dictionary and do further research in other sources. The festival involved the rites of spring near the equinox of Venus.
Mm-hmm.
When pagans believed the Earth Mother was impregnated by the sun, they engaged in ritual sex acts and used symbols of fertility like eggs, rabbits, and hot cross buns.
So how does a festival that has to do with sexual acts, fertility symbols like eggs, rabbits, and hot cross buns, what does that have to do with the Mashiach?
Nothing at all. Nothing.
That and you try to tell people and they just look at you like, no, not my Jesus. That's not even, but he ain't got nothing to do with,
Nothing.
that's nothing about nothing.
In the history of animals, when has a rabbit ever laid an egg?
Yeah, facts. Nothing about nothing, right? Keep going, my bad.
The Babylonian symbol for the female was...
Hold on. Pay attention to this part. Go ahead. Say it again.
The Babylonian symbol for the female was and is a circle with a crux beneath it.
Now we're about to learn what a crux is. Keep going.
Crux beneath. The round cakes were baked for the Queen of Heaven. What does this say?
Regina Coley, yep.
Regina Coley and Great Mother Magna
Mater.
with the cross symbol indicating the female.
So wait, so the cross represents a female. I know we talked about this before, but so it's a circle representing the sun, S-U-N, and the cross represents a female killing the Son of Man. Are y'all checking that out? Easter is literally a symbol of the Son of Man or the men being killed and taken out of the households, if you want to even take it even further.
Correct.
It's a symbol of rebellion. So you start looking at it like, wait, the cross is female, and curses every man that died on a tree. So he died to a cursed female, in a sense, a wicked woman. We're not talking about all women, but I'm just saying rebellion. Everything about that day is flat out rebellion. You start researching like, man, it represents a female. How do we get there? I was like, huh? It is an ankh. What the Egyptians were?
Yeah.
What the Egyptians were, right? The ankh, right? And even they know, because if you know anything about Kemet, they actually worship women as goddesses. Literally, you listen to them talk and this and that. The goddess this and this and that. And if you pay attention now, there's this rise in feminism. That's what we're talking about. It is huge. Like the crazy thing about it, you listen to some of these women on YouTube or on TikTok or whatever, and they'll be spitting some things that are straight true, and then you see this foolishness get mixed in. Like, oh no. Like, have y'all know this woman named Mama T, something like that? Older lady. She's in like gray hair.
Short gray hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I would listen to her. She would come out with some truth. I'd be like, okay. And then I just started listening to her, and it was just all about against men. You know, we don't need men for anything. We can create everything on our own, and this and that. I'm like, that's the spirit of Easter.
Gets the most high, like, so.
That's literally the spirit of Easter. It's the spirit of rebellion, the spirit of feminism that's rising. Because the thing about this Aquarian age, like I was listening to some other people talk about it, and the way they explained it was, yes, it's a rise in information, but it's also a rise in the divine feminine trying to usurp authority. So this new age, that's why this whole new move, they had to get into feminism, right? So they started with the quote-unquote Caucasian woman. Then they went to the quote-unquote black woman. And they had to do that to take us out of the household because they don't need us for nothing. Nothing about us matters. Happy wife, happy life. They had to kill the head of the household in there, period. Right, go ahead. You going to say something?
No, it's just evidence is in the shows and movies that's all on TV.
And they're going back to the island, what is it? Where the word lesbian comes from.
Cut that mic on so they can hear you.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, roughly, but I can't
The
grasp it
island
right
where
now.
there was nothing but women.
Oh, Amazon. You talking about the Amazon?
No.
Over there by Greek, I think by the Greek
There was
island.
nothing but the word
Lesbian comes from that
island.
island,
Lesbos.
yeah, something like that, yeah.
Is it Lesbos? Or you guessing, Bam?
I think I heard.
It's either Lesbos, Lebanon, or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but.
Women rule.
Mhm.
It was,
And that was the Amazon way too. The Amazon.
That's what I'm saying. Because that's where, like, because even if you know about Wonder Woman, her name is Diana. She comes from the Amazons.
That's another name for Diana.
Easter.
Another name for Ishtar. So, just like in the Game of Thrones, Cersei.
Church, Easter.
Lebanon,
Cersei.
Lebanese.
And she was given with incest too.
Incest.
By her brother. 3 kids by her brother.
Because I know I was talking about women, but how wicked you got to be to take your mama for a wife? That's why Nimrod was a cunning hunter against the Most High. Before the Most High, right? Right. So that means that any way he could go against it, he's going to push every envelope. Like, well, we going to see. Oh, this your boundary. This a line I can't cross. Guess what?
It's going against the
I'm just going to, man, bro.
Habitual line step.
yeah, facts. Habitually,
How much
right?
more evil do you gotta be to marry your son though? Like as a mom.
Hey, I'm glad I didn't have to say it. I'm glad I didn't have to say it. And then you have a child, but hold on. Then you have a child by, so wait a minute, hold on. So, and then we talk about how wicked Nimrod was. But like you said, for one, what was Nimrod's dad doing? Where was he? That's one. Then for two, who was the one really raising Nimrod to fall in love with his mother? You got to think about it. When women are in a position to where they make their son their husband, that's that kind of weirdo nonsense. That's when that happens. Because a child is not supposed to be your friend, especially if you're the man. He ain't supposed to be your friend. He's supposed to love you, but have a healthy fear of you, right? And then a daughter. But anyway, how wicked do you have to be? What was she teaching him? Was she sexually abusing him? Was she raping him at a young age
Right.
to make him want to marry her after all the women that's probably around his age? That don't even add up. Go ahead, Elder.
Let me ask you this here, teacher. Prior to Moshe giving us the law, was it not permitted for that to happen?
And-
Prior to the law, Moshe giving us the law, was it a sin to do that? Even when you talk about Lot and his daughters, I'm just giving you something to think about on it, because a lot of that didn't change until we got the law. And he says about us not taking any our aunties or our father's sister or our mother's brother or messing with your daughters or
Yeah.
because that was going on plenty of it prior.
Could have been.
I mean, it's in there.
That's why.
So I think it was more so of, because I read up on that, we had read up on it before. I think it was more so, it wasn't, like you said, talked against, but it wasn't that far. Like, it wasn't daughter, dad, son, mom type thing. It was more of a cousin.
Mm-hmm.
It was, or like a brother, sister type thing. But in that aspect, when they was doing it, parent to child, the Most High, he didn't like it. He didn't like it in the first. Like he didn't, and so he made those rules. Like, okay, well, y'all for sure not doing it.
Shit, y'all ain't doing like the other nations.
Yeah, because he was like you said, it probably was going on, but it wasn't about people. Not that aspect. Like I said, like most of the time we seen it as a cousin thing, pretty much to keep the bloodline thick. You know what I mean? You're just going through the lineages because there's plenty of books that go through the lineage of things. That was mostly leading up into the Messiah, so that bloodline can be thick and it's untampered with because, of course, the Father and all that come into play. But that's why that was done. It was always done. He had an order to follow, but of course, man and they knowledge-seeking purposes mess up everything.
Nimrod was going to go against the Most High regardless. Because if you read like other texts, when you read about Nimrod, he just wanted to be rebellious. He was literally trying to build a tower to the Most High so he can be like him. And then him and his people started shooting arrows up to the Most High, trying to kill the Most High.
Who was his dad again?
Huh?
Who was his dad?
Oh, I forget his dad's name.
Because you say Shem was his uncle, correct?
Yeah, Shem was his uncle, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on.
And Ham was his grandfather.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, but
Because it leads you to believe, because
go ahead.
quote, they said it was two seeds, in the beginning. And he told them, the seed of the woman gonna step on your seed's head.
And you're
Cain
gonna
and
lose that
Abel
heel.
supposed to be,
Uh-huh.
Cain was out there still, procreating too.
And believe it or not, his people are still on earth now.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
That's facts.
And it said to believe certain people, quote unquote, the serpent was supposed to be Cain.
He said Anakin of Anderson. All right.
But nah, like you said, man, that's evil. Like the learning of
What up, young king? What up? What up? Shabbat
The
shalom.
learning of, like you said, who learned Nimrod? Who learned him?
His mama.
His mama did this to him.
They had a very close relationship.
Unique.
Yeah, don't it? That's what it sounds. It sounds like the father was not involved
And
at
it's
all.
crazy because like when we learned about Serpent, which was supposed to be one of the original witches, or the original witch, she was fatherless.
Yeah, and then what did she do? She wanted to have sex with her brother. Remember that? Yeah, that's Easter. That's the same. Yeah, it's the same. Yeah, it's the same. Like it don't change. She's just out there for the streets, literally. And if you look into the story, my bad. If you look into the story, like once Nimrod was died and he got cut up and everything, like they say that somehow she had his phallus, her penis, and then ejaculated it, and then from that's where Tammuz was able to come. So it was almost like a posthumous. Is that what you said? Yeah, something like that. Like him was dead, but she made that thing work. PTSD, yeah. Leave it to Bam. And so y'all know at this time, you go to these different stores, you'll see those round shortcake cakes, that you can get from Homeland. Those round, you know what I'm talking about. Those, cause them things just tasty, but I stay away from this time of year.
Little sponge cake.
Yeah, them little sponge cakes, yeah. Cause all that goes back to Easter.
Food cake.
Yeah, that's what they used to do. They used to literally, because that's what it said. Pagans believed that Mother Earth impregnated was the son. Da, da, da. Where's it at? Yeah, the round cakes were baked for the Queen of Heaven. That's why they make sure every Easter they're out there for you to buy. They want you to pay homage to Easter, to Semiramis, to Astarte. Yeah, you gotta eat. Yeah, go ahead and eat with her. Yeah, have an Easter meal. Come on, we got this fresh ham that we just smoked for you.
Come break bread.
Yeah.
Did not people used to call those whole cakes?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Whole, like a whole.
A hoe gonna be a hoe. Yes. I think we definitely did. But again, I was looking at this and I'm like, man, the cross represents a female killing Mashiach. That's just wild. So then it says, well, some notes that I put out. It says, so this whole spirit of Easter, Holy Mother Church, and feminism is all about killing the king or the male or father in the household. Because most of the time when people who are going to church, the men don't really want to go, but they get told to go by their wife on Easter and Christmas and all them holidays.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. The scripture says, curses every man that hangs on a tree, right? So why do people worship the cross? I never understand that. I never understand that. This perversion of order is what creates the madness that we live in. Fathers are needed in the household because we're supposed to be bringing discernment and truth. That's what we're supposed to be doing. That's our prerogative. That's our responsibility. Take heed. That's what we're supposed to be doing, right? As we keep going. So now,
Teachers of our children and the covering of our wives.
facts. We're a whole covering out here. A whole covering. I ain't talking about no umbrella. A whole one. A whole one. Yeah, not just an umbrella. So now we're going to get to the 44th book of Jeremiah. Because again, stuff like Easter and all this stuff happens when the appointed of Yahuwah does not stand up and stand firm. Bam, if you will.
The word that came to Jeremiah concerning all the Jews which dwelled in the land of Egypt, which dwelled at Migdol, and
Taphanes.
I know H in there.
Taphanes.
Taphanes. I ain't behind that. I not up the piece. I know my English language sometimes. And Taphanes and Notho.
Enough.
No.
Like enough, bam.
And now, in the country of Pathros saying, thus said Yahweh of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, and ye have seen all the evil that I have brought upon Jerusalem and upon all the cities of Judah. And behold, this day they are in desolation, and no man dwelleth therein. Because of their wickedness which they have committed to provoke me to anger, and that they went to burn incense and to serve other gods, whom they knew not, neither they ye nor your fathers. Howbeit, I sent unto you all my servants the prophets, rising early and sending them, saying, oh, do not this abominable thing that I hate.
That I hate, right?
What was it?
Okay, so do you think it's a wise thing to provoke the Most High to anger?
What? No, sir.
Let alone you're gonna burn incense to other God see, the thing about this is they would do it in the way they were supposed to be doing it to Yahuwah. So they would take that same concept to these other gods or goddesses and do that to his face. Nimrod, rebellion, Easter. Go ahead.
No, so it was one Shabbat we was talking about something, and I'm like, bro, like we was just talking about the counterfeit. It's like you trying to duplicate the originator, but you can't. Like you said, but and it's just the audacity to do something that I asked you to do for somebody else. Like that's wild.
So I got a question. What does the word Jeremiah or the name Jeremiah mean? I was hoping Jeremiah was gonna be here.
Bullfrog.
I mean, that's what he is. But what does the name mean?
Peace. Right.
No, that's his middle name.
Oh.
Yeah. Huh? Not so much. Anybody else? So, every time, like when you see names, you always gotta look them up. Always want to look them up, right? So, Jeremiah literally means whom Yahuwah has appointed. So he sent who he appointed to the people to let them know their transgressions and their sins, to see if they will repent. So he sends those that he's appointed as heads of households to make sure to be guarding and protecting your household from sin, from transgression, to be leading and guiding them into all truth. We are who Yahuwah has appointed, right? We have to stand firm. We have to make our hands strong in this thing, which means we have to do the hard work that's necessary for us to get past the obstacles that we've been going through. That way we don't pass it on to our children, and that way our relationships don't suffer from that. We have to make our hands strong, right? We have to stand firm because, again, we were appointed of Yahuwah, right? That's what we were. Born into it or not, that's what you are. That's your responsibility as a man, right? So again, he sent who he appointed to go tell these people what's going on. Now you're gonna see this spirit of rebellion so strong on this people, just like it is today. Keep going.
But they hearken not, nor incline their ear to turn from their wickedness, to burn no incense unto other gods.
So he wasn't mad that they was burning incense. It was just because they was doing it to the wrong person, right? To the wrong being, to the wrong father.
Wherefore my fury and my anger was poured forth, and was kindled in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem, and they were wasted and they was wasted and desolate as at this day. Therefore now thus said Yahweh, the Elohim of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, wherefore commit ye this great evil against your souls, to cut off from you man and woman, children and suckling, out of Judah, to leave you none to remain.
When I tell you the Most High can talk greasy to you, so he just starts speaking through the man that he's appointed. Jeremiah's like, why are you doing this against your own soul? And against your wife? And against your baby and them? Your children and why? You want to do this stuff against your own souls. Why? You know I'm him, right? I am literally the original him. That's what he's trying to get these people to understand. And let's see how they take this correction, right? Let's see how they take it.
And that ye provoke me unto wrath with the works of your hands, burning incense unto other gods in the land of Egypt. Was it whether ye be gone to dwell, that ye may cut yourselves off, and that ye might be a curse and a reproach among all the nations of the earth. So
to cut yourself off means, like, why are you killing yourself? He literally asking, like, why are you killing yourself? Don't make no sense. Yeah, you doing it to yourself. And I'm gonna be a man of my word, though. Keep going. Is it the same one? Hey, June, you got this one?
Yeah, I can see it.
Hey, hand on the mic to give Bam a breather. Come up here, young man. Yeah. Why y'all be sitting so far away?
Have ye forgotten the wickedness of your fathers, and the wickedness of the kings of Judah, and the wickedness of their wives, and your own wickedness, and the wickedness of your wives?
No, wait. So, now what did he say twice in that? Read that again.
And the wickedness of the kings of Judah, and the wickedness of their wives, and your own wickedness, and the wickedness of your wives.
He said that twice. Because there's a lot of rebellion. And remember, we're also the bride of Mashiach. So we actually got to take that again also. Being rebellious, right? But there was a spirit of rebellion on the people. Didn't want to conform. Want to do what they want to do, what's right in their own minds, right? Keep going.
Which they have committed in the land of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem.
Right.
They are not humbled even unto this day. Neither have they feared, nor walked in my law, nor in my statutes that I set before you and before your father.
So he's literally saying, you wicked, your kings is wicked, your wife is wicked, all of y'all wicked. Every last one of y'all. Now, we're about to see the response, and you tell me if this is a righteous response, right? Go ahead.
Therefore, thus saith Yahuwah Sabaoth, the Elohim of Israel, behold, I will set my face against you and to cut off all Judah.
Does that make you give you a good warm and fuzzy? Ben, what you think?
Nah, that was some harsh words.
Say what?
Harsh words that you spoke.
He said, I will set my face against you and cut all of y'all off. Not just some of you, all of you.
All of Judah.
Sometimes we make the Most High get so mad, like,
What
man,
tribe you said we from, man?
huh? I said we from Judah.
So,
Yeah, cause look, man,
'cause my Judah provoked him the most.
bruh. But if you think that was provocation, keep going, Jim.
And I will take the remnant of Judah
Keep going.
that have set their faces to go into the land of Egypt to
Sojourn.
sojourn there, and they shall all be consumed and fall in the land of Egypt. They shall even be consumed by the sword and by the famine.
So either I'm gonna send somebody to just kill him easy, real quick. I'm gonna make him starve to death. Go ahead.
The remnant, though, I thought the
Now
remnant was
that prophecy right there, think about it. It's not talking about old Egypt where our people was first that delivered. It's talking about the prophecy which we are in right now.
I was about to say, 'cause we're in Egypt now.
Because we're cut off. We're cut off. Until he comes back to redeem us, we're cut off. You know, I mean, that's just a fact. But we don't, here's the thing, the beautiful part about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that curse is still active because of what our ancestors did. But we do not have to live under it.
No, we
when
don't.
Come back and as a remnant and get ourselves together.
That's a
True.
fact. That's a fact.
He'll wake us up in the land of our captivity.
Hey, send that faintness of heart. Like, hey, wait a minute. Yeah, let me get right with the Most High, because we don't have to live with these curses. Elders, he's perfectly right. I was going to say that again. Are we not in the land of our captivity now?
Yeah.
Egypt just means bondage, right? So that actually pertains to us now. We got to get out of wickedness and rebellion now, so we don't be partakers in that. I don't want, with the stuff coming, I don't want to die by the sword, and I don't want to starve to death.
I sure don't.
Especially not starve to death. Starve to death is worse than being killed by a sword. That'll be easy, quick.
I don't even like paper cuts.
If you starve to death, the Most High does not like you. I'm just going to keep it a buck with you. You're like, yeah, I'm rewarding you for your doings. I'm not. I got all this stuff. I got all the water. I can make water come out of a rock. I can have crows feed you. I ain't giving you nothing. You going to die today. That's what the Most High told him. You going to die. I don't want that. That's just me. I mean, maybe y'all different, but I don't want none of that. None. Finish that out.
They shall die from the least even unto the greatest, by the sword and by the famine. And they shall be
Execration.
and an astonishment and a curse and a reproach.
Ain't no good. It's all bad.
That's an astronaut.
All bad, right? Okay. Now, again, we're about to see the heart of these people. Their response is going to speak volumes. Go ahead.
For I will punish them that dwell in the land of Egypt, as I have punished Jerusalem by the sword, by the famine, and by the pestilence, so that none of the remnant of Judah, which are gone into the land of Egypt to sojourn there, shall escape or remain.
If you try to run, I'm going to get you, sucker. That's what he just said. You try to flee to Egypt, think you're going to get away from this? No. I got you. I got you. No matter where you go. I got facts. Better than that. Better than Enterprise. Once I pull up. Keep going.
That they should return into the land of Judah, to which they have a desire to return and dwell there. For none shall return but such as small or no, shall escape.
So only a small amount of people is going to escape that, right? So now, finally, the build-up, the response. Bam, can you read this response? I see you trying to read ahead, so go ahead, Bam.
No, I'm going back. But y'all said a small amount of people shall escape that. It said none.
Yeah, it said none, but only some will come back to the land to escape, because that's what he said. He said, for none shall return, but such as escape. Only those that even escape that will make it back to the land of Judah, is what he's saying.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Then all the men which knew that their wives had burned incense unto other gods.
Oh, so they knew about it.
Yeah, they
Wrong,
knew.
wrong, 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 wrong.
A bunch of Adams.
Right. Oh, I can't say nothing. She right. She right. Knew she was up to no good and just let her do it. You right. Boy, no.
And all the women that stood by his great multitude, even all the people that dwelt in the land of Egypt, in Pathros, answered Jeremiah, saying.
So they answered the man that's appointed of the Most High, but it said the women that stood by. Remember that. So the men was there, and the women standing right by their man, right? Strong, independent. Keep going.
As for the word that thou hast spoken unto us in the name of Yahweh, we will not hearken unto it.
So they won't repent. they said, "Hey man,
I'm not listening to you.
everything that you said, we ain't worried about nothing. You ain't, man, you just talking. Matter of fact, you talk too much. You're on my Yahoo. You talk too much.
I can see it now. They had them women over there pumping them up. You better talk back to them.
You let them talk to us like
You
that?
don't like them.
Who's the Most High compared to us? Like, yeah, okay.
Like, look, Father, you heard what my wife said. Okay, fine, click.
But this is what happens when the men have not made their hands strong, got their households in order. Rebellion. So you see everybody saying this, right? And you remember that he said that about the wives twice, right? Okay, watch this next one.
Now, who wrote he that find the wife find a good thing? I'm just playing.
It's in the book, man. It's in the book.
Hold on. Let me get it.
So just to read this one again, it said, as for the word that thou or that you have spoken unto us in the name of Yahuwah, we will not listen unto you. We ain't listening to you, folks. For real. Now read that one.
But we will certainly do whatsoever the thing goeth forth out of our own mouth, to burn incense unto the Queen of Heaven.
Who they burning it to?
To Easter.
To Easter. Literally, is who they burning it to.
Wow.
Right?
To pour out drink offerings unto her, as we have done, we and our fathers and kings and our princes, and the cities of Judah, and the street. Whoa!
Yeah, bro, out there.
Whoa.
They ain't worried about nothing. Bam, they ain't worried about
We
nothing.
do it in Judah
Bruh.
and in Jerusalem.
Yeah.
And then we had plenty of victuals,
Which is food.
and were very well, and saw no evil.
So when we made these sacrifices to Easter, my dude, with them nice little hoe cakes, like and everything, and them, you know, them little deviled eggs from them bunnies, hey, we was good. Everything was good.
But the audacity, them folks said, just like in the cities of Jerusalem, Judah and Jerusalem, after the Most High just told y'all, you see what I did? Ain't nobody there. I destroyed them.
And the crazy thing is,
And they gonna provoke them with it.
the Most High was literally trying to see if they would repent. And they were so right in their own eyes from that strong delusion that they couldn't even see that was a test. Like the Most High always wants us to repent and turn to Him. Always. But they had no fruits that were meet for repentance. They did not care. They had sold out to another god or goddess with this spirit of rebellion that a lot of people are going to be joined into tomorrow, right? But you see who they were actually sacrificing these offerings to. Easter. Y'all probably didn't know that was in there. Easter.
Today, though, like,
Huh?
that is literally going on today.
Yep.
Like, our people are so lost and burning incense and doing all this other stuff to the universe and another God. And I'm just like, well, where's that power coming from?
The universe
And
ain't
then
even God,
you
man.
can't tell them anything. And I'm just like, okay.
It's wild because the universe is like science has literally proven. One of these days I'm gonna do like a mini teaching on that. They've literally proven that the universe was created.
Yeah.
So how's that the creator? This stuff don't make no sense. It's a literal It's like the largest quantum computer that you could ever create.
Yeah.
It's what the universe is.
Science is always contradicting itself, so
Yeah.
That's wild, man. Oh man.
you constantly say one thing and then never redact it, but just say another to cover that one up. So that's science.
So you see, did they believe that Holy Mother Church and Mother Earth is better to them than their creator? Go ahead, Elder. Go ahead.
But since we left our
No, Elder. You ain't an elder yet, Bam. You ain't an elder yet.
I'll be short with this here, what I'm saying, but think about tomorrow. Because we know the spirit is on the land right now. All right, do we all agree with that? Okay. tomorrow, check it out. You don't have to, I don't want you all to go ahead and do it, but just, look, you have eyes to see, yeah. You're gonna see everybody dressed up nice.
Man,
These ladies gonna have
to the nines.
They're gonna have this showing a whole bunch of flesh, and I guarantee you, tomorrow is the best day to hook up if you just want to be.
Hey.
If you just want to go ahead and I know we don't want to operate. We don't operate like that, but.
Hey, no, don't do it. Hey, man, you almost got here. You might want to get off that mic. Yeah, that was almost it. Yeah, that was almost it. Y'all can't see that. Again, fair use. This is for training and educational purposes. I don't know what just happened.
But they used to be saying that's the place to go.
Yeah, church. Yeah.
That's the place to go visit the club.
Because how many of these women really actually dress modest on a regular day, and then Easter Sunday come along, they're like, oh, I gotta get my fit, and then okay, you're not even covering yourself to divert anything.
Because if you look at some of these churches, I be seeing some of the videos on YouTube, and when they doing praise and worship, and their churches look like a literal club. They have lights going all crazy, people dancing, women wearing tight stuff, women twerk. You remember I seen y'all videos? Women was twerking and all this other stuff, like, yeah, twerking for Jesus. That was a thing. That was a literal thing, twerking for Jesus. Yeah, wow. So again, they're making these sacrifices literally to the Queen of Heaven, right? Keep going.
I didn't read the last verse.
You didn't? Oh, my bad.
But since we left off to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven and to pour out drink offerings unto her, we have wanted all things and have been consumed by the sword and by the famine.
So they're so dumb. They're so drunk from the wine of that fornication. They can't realize that it's the Most High's doing, that the sword and the famine is coming after them. Jeremiah just told them that. It was because of the Most High. But they think it's because they stopped giving sacrifices to the Queen of Heaven. So much in a drunken stupor, they have no idea what's going on. Don't know whether they're coming or going. That's a strong delusion. A very strong delusion. Now keep going.
And when we burn incense, when we burn incense to the Queen of Heaven and poured out drink offerings unto her, did we make her cakes to worship her and pour out drink offerings unto her without our men?
So the women don't want to accept no accountability. Look at that. Did we do it without the men? Okay, keep going.
Then Jeremiah said unto all the people, to the men and to the women, and to all the people that which had given him that answer, saying.
So again, just to make sure y'all understand what this is saying, I'm going to give y'all a different version of it. The women also said, and when we burned incense to the Queen of Heaven and poured out drink offerings to her, did we make the cakes for her, to worship her, and pour out drink offerings to her without our husband's permission? So that means it's on our watch. So that means we've been extra rebellious. And then the fact that you letting your wife talk crazy to the man of the Most High at that time? Jeremiah was that dude. He would come to different nations, let them know what's going to happen. And people walked in fear and in reverence behind that. But just talking crazy like, did we do it without our husband's permission? Yeah, Jeremiah, yeah. We're all one accord. Yeah, we ain't listening to you. We got this. Easter, what up? What up, Easter?
This is where that word came from, beat her off of the color purple.
Look. No, but like the stuff be wild, man. Like when you get so far gone that you can't even see your way out of it,
Yeah.
you can tell that they hadn't been praying. Well,
Not since the woman they
no, not at all. And you know that their eyes and their minds were all evil and wicked continually. Because if you worshiping her, you're doing child sacrifice. There is no getting around that when it comes to Easter, right? What happened to tribe mentality, patriarchy, no Hebrew left behind? Simple things. Yeah, that I hate that. I hate when I hear that. I hate it. Now, if you know that y'all are going out of town or something, like, okay, that's different. But some guys, like she said, you ask them anything. Let me ask my wife. She controls all that. I'll be like,
Let's shoot the balls.
Yeah, I'll be hearing that a lot too. I'll be like, huh? All right. Get him, deputy. Oh, go ahead.
The incense that ye burn in the cities of Judah and the streets of Jerusalem, ye and your fathers and your kings and your princes and the people of the land, did not your vow remember them, and came into And came it not unto his mouth.
Like, you think the Most High didn't know? You think he dumb or something? Keep going.
So that Yahweh could no longer bear, because of the evil of your doings and because of the abominations which ye have committed. Therefore is your land a desolation and hold on, and an astonishment and a curse without inhabitants
As at?
as at this day.
Mm-hmm.
Man, listen, we gotta figure out. We gotta get you some good old font that's gonna be consistent.
Well, it just depends on how much be on there. That's why.
Because ye have burned incense, and because ye have sinned against Yahweh, and have not obeyed the voice of Yahweh, nor walked in his laws, his statutes, nor his testimonies. Therefore, this evil has happened unto you as at this day. Moreover, Jeremiah said unto all the people and all the women, hear the word of Yahweh, all Judah that are in the land of Egypt.
So why would he make that distinction? Moreover, Jeremiah said unto all the people and to all the women, hear the word of Yahuwah, all Judah that are in the land of Egypt. Because everything was out of order at that point in time. I mean, they wasn't running anything. Yeah, they knew their wives was going to do it because they couldn't tell their wives nothing. Just like now, like the elder was saying, a lot of this stuff pertains to us today. Literally, right? In the land of Egypt, okay.
Thus said Yahweh, thus said Yahweh of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, saying, ye and your wives have both spoken with your mouths, and fulfilled. Hold on, did the men even speak?
Huh?
Did the men even speak?
Did the men say anything?
I don't know, there's a lot of women talking.
Wait, let's go back. Hold on. Let me see. What happened? Moreover, Jeremiah said unto all the people and to all the women, hear the word of Yahuwah, all the Judah.
Because I know the women was like, did we not do this in our hood? Like, the women said that.
So,
Those the women.
so it says, as for the word that thou spoke, so then all the men which knew that their wives had burned. So the men that knew that their women was out of pocket with the women.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just them. No. We got to take accountability for that too.
No, I'm just saying, because like, if I was women was a lot of person, the women was.
But yeah, they definitely had the last word though. Did we do it without our husband's permission? You know, they had to get that one in. But all right. One more? Okay.
Yeah, what I was saying.
25.
Okay, yeah. Thus said Yahweh of hosts, the Elohim of Israel. Ye and your wives have both spoken with your mouths and fulfilled with your hands, saying, we will surely perform our vows that we vow to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto her. Ye shall surely accomplish your vows, and surely perform your vows.
So what was the drink offering again?
Wine.
Okay. Paying attention. That's good.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
good.
I didn't know that. They didn't say what they were drinking on this one. It didn't. Not in Jeremiah. It didn't say it.
Because they were doing the things that they were supposed to be doing to the Most High to other.
Therefore ye hear the words of Yahweh. All Judah that dwell in the land of Egypt, behold, I have sworn by my great name, said Yahweh, that my name shall be no more be named in what? Hold on.
Named in the mouth.
Did I read that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Named in the mouth of any man of Judah in all the land of Egypt, saying, Yahweh, Yahweh Elohim liveth.
So he got so mad, like, ain't no man in Judah about to say that I live. Because they basically going to be dead, bro. Like, that's basically what he's saying without saying it. Ain't no man going to say that no more. That's it. I'm done with y'all. Get away from me, Jigaboo. Keep going.
Behold, I will watch over them for evil and not for good. And all the men of Judah that are in the land of Egypt shall be consumed by the sword and by the famine until there be the end of them. And yet a small number that escape the sword shall return out of the land of Egypt into the land of Judah, and all the remnant of Judah that are gone into the land of Egypt to sojourn there, shall know whose word shall stand, mine or theirs.
So we gonna see whose word's gonna prevail, because he says that his word cannot return unto him void, right?
Listen, we gonna see who got the last say.
Bro.
And this shall be a sign unto you, says Yahweh, that I will punish you in this place, that ye may know that my word shall surely stand against you for evil.
So why we got to get to the point to where we make the Most High be a man of His word?
Especially that part.
He said, "I'm gonna look after you for evil. The sword, the pestilence, and famine is gonna follow y'all no matter where y'all go to. Y'all gonna say, no, we still gonna worship Easter though, on Sunday, bright and early."
Not bright. Thus said Yahweh, behold, I will give Pharaoh
Pharaoh Hophra.
for king of Egypt into the hand of his enemies, and into the hand of them that seek his life. As I gave Zedekiah, king of Judah, into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, his enemy, and they sought his life.
Because the scripture says that a wicked generation seeketh for a sign. So the Most High was like, I'm gonna give y'all a sign because y'all wicked. Point blank, period. Y'all ain't gotta worry about it. Y'all gonna know that I did this. Jamal, grab the mic real quick.
I was doing good.
Huh? You said Pharaoh. So I don't know what the last one was. So
That was Pharaoh.
to try to finish up on Easter, right? Back to fossilized customs. You don't mind, Jamal? This is all about rebellion.
You'll see Asherah was this same earth mother called the Queen of Heaven, which Yisrael committed sex idolatry with. The maypole ritual uses a pole or phallus, a wreath, which is vagina, and ribbons, hymen. To ensure a prosperous growing season, pagans rolled eggs decorated with the bright colors of spring on their fields, hoping to imbue fertility.
So they're trying to imbue fertility. And then this is supposed to be about Mashiach. Ain't got nothing to do with it. They don't know. People don't be knowing what they really worshiping, right? Easter eggs, right? Go ahead, Jamal.
The use of painted and decorated Easter eggs was first recorded in the 13th century.
Wait a minute. When did Mashiach die? Around like 30 or 33 AD?
Yeah.
So 1,300 years later?
Yeah. That's Easter for you.
Oh, okay. All right.
The church prohibited the eating of eggs during Holy Week. Yeah. But chickens continue to lay eggs during that week.
They don't stop.
And you can't stop the chickens.
Boy.
And the notions specifically identifying those as Holy Week eggs brought about their decoration. The egg itself became a symbol of the resurrection.
1,300 years later. Makes sense.
How do an egg gonna make it be a symbol for resurrection?
Yeah, you know, Christ, he was crucified on an egg tree. It was an eggplant, right? Eggplant's a tree, right?
Just as Jesus rose from the tomb, the egg symbolizes new life emerging from the eggshell.
Now, this is from the Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yeah. In the Orthodox tradition, eggs are painted red to symbolize the blood Jesus shed on the cross. True.
Does that make sense to y'all?
Not at all.
Does it add up?
Nah.
Not at all. Keep going.
This is math.
Amen. These eggs were then hidden from evil spirits in rabbits' nests, another symbol of fertility. Easter is the name of the Babylonian mother of harlots, Revelation 17, and her image stands as the sun goddess, Lady Libertas, in New York Harbor. So, Statue of Liberty. This colossal statue even has the tower headpiece as seen worn by Artemis, worshipped as Diana at Ephesus.
Right, and that's in the New Testament, right? In Book of Acts.
The sun rays, the torch, and facing the sunrise tell us is an ancient sun goddess, and Yahuwah hates it
You don't like that, right?
at all.
Mm-hmm.
Her emblem is the flower of the lily.
Lily of the valley. Remember they used to have songs about that?
Seen illustrated above. In American society, the Easter Seals Society uses the fleur de lis, which is the French flower of the lily, as their logo. And they have no religious affiliations. Most church groups decorate with lilies on Easter morning.
And they have no idea why. They just do it. Tradition.
It's tradition. My forefathers did it, they did it, my parents did it, so we're going to do it too.
Yeah.
Instead of inheriting the truth, they inherited Babylon. They do nothing Yahuwah instructed us to do, but everything he ordered us to never learn to do. Athena is Greek for deathless one. Mankind is exploited as they search for love, and few find the eternal love of their Creator as they fall prey to schemes of the devil. Notice the serpent next to the shield below. It has been said Athena would shake.
So remember, there's a serpent with a shield below. But first, there's a William Shakespeare connection to this. Y'all know who William Shakespeare was?
Yeah, we all know poets.
So, right, Romeo and Juliet, right? So notice the serpent next to the shield below. It has been said Athena would shake. Go ahead.
Her spirit when she heard lies, and this part of the mythology about her gives the pen name Shakespeare to the unverified author.
So if you look closely, the spear at the end, there's a snake. But that's why he named his pen himself that.
Yeah.
He was worshiping Easter.
Wow.
Easter.
Wow. That's crazy. That's a nice play on words.
Yeah. Worshiping Easter. Hey, rebellion.
Wow.
You start reading this stuff, you're like, you can't make this stuff up, man.
Well, he's supposed to be the ones who helped translate the Bible back then. The king.
Allegedly. Yeah, allegedly. That's what they say. Some people try to say he actually wrote it, but
What?
or translate. That's what some people. There's a lot of conspiracy theories about this stuff. So what?
I know one thing.
Part of the rebellion for sure, because in a lot of his plays, he written roles that were written for men,
Yep.
but played by women, and
Facts.
roles written for women that were played by men.
Yeah, that sounds like 2024 right there.
Property stuff.
Just like y'all know.
You
You know one of the most glaring examples. Y'all know the Equalizer movies with Denzel. Y'all know it's a TV show too, right?
Yeah, but Queen
was a
With Queen Latifah, like, wait, how does that work?
Oh, whoa.
Oh, you talking about the new one? That's
Oh, you talking
older.
about the
It's
series.
based off of older TV.
No, I'm talking about the new one.
Yeah.
talking about the
Yeah,
series?
she's the main character.
Yeah.
Cause I was like, cause I happened to be looking on Amazon trying to find something to watch. I said the Equalizer. Oh yeah, Denzel. Look, it's a TV show. Well, I keep seeing Queen Latifah. What's going on? Like, so is she? I haven't watched the episode. Is she him?
She's the equalizer.
Oh, okay, never mind. We can keep going. Like,
Trading places, huh?
oh man, goodness, boy. Cause you know she's played a quote unquote lesbian quite a few times.
She is.
Yeah.
In real life.
When art starts becoming life, right? Okay.
Rebellion mother, son cults. Pagan religions parallel each other, carrying the sun, earth mother, and child model from Babylon to Media Persia, Egypt, Greece, Rome, and Celts.
So it's a literal cult. The father ends up dying. The woman is pregnant, and the mother was either married to the son or she has a son, but the father ends up dying. He's just not a part of it. All of these things have that commonality in it. You just be like, man, why do they want to kill us so bad? Like, we can't be that bad. We gotta die, man. When you really look into this stuff, you be like, man, okay, this is a little weird. It's a little strange, but keep going. All right.
The Medes developed the mythology into, what's that?
Zoroastrianism.
Yeah, Zoroastrianism, producing the magician Magus, priest called Magi.
So the Magi and all that comes from this mother-son cult type stuff, right? Okay.
The Britannica Encyclopedia says Easter, Ostera, or Eastry, was the goddess of spring in the religion of the ancient Angles and Saxons.
Right.
Every April, a festival was celebrated in her honor. With the beginnings of Christianity, the old gods were put aside. From then on, the festival was celebrated in honor of the resurrection of Christ, but was still known as Easter after the old gods.
Because, you know, they Christianize everything, right?
Like, come on, man.
Acculturation, you know.
That's crazy, man. You just gonna change whatever you decide to change.
Yeah, man, we'll change it now. This ain't about the old, this is about Christ.
This is now a Christian holiday.
You are now a Christian. The Nicene Council. The Nicene Council, where a lot of this stuff got implemented, right? Go ahead.
Alright. In 325 CE, the Roman Emperor Constantine, I convened what is now called the Nicene Council, gathering 220 elders or bishops together in order to unify basic doctrines or teachings and establish common practices. One objective was to set a universal date for Easter time.
Or Easter.
Yeah. Constantine's council sought to institute new tolerances for pagan patterns and outlaw the patterns that Yeshua lived by and taught. Constantine had already proclaimed Sunday to be a day of rest dedicated to the sun in 321 CE.
Right.
And now it came time to secretize more paganism. So
Sunday, right?
Rest.
Right. Constantine, 321. Now there's a council at 325, right? Keep going.
At Constantine's Nicene Council, he put such fear in some of the visiting elders that encyclopedias explain how many ran for their lives when they heard the things being discussed.
Now, does that sound like something that's honorable and righteous? They were scared for their life, so they ran out. Did y'all know that?
No.
Were y'all aware of that? About all the changes that they were making, threatening to kill them?
Man.
Ran for their life. All this ties back to Easter, rebellion.
Yeah. The Edict of Milan had outlawed synagogues, but Constantine's council at Nicaea boldly outlawed the Torah, fulfilling the prophecy of Daniel 7:25. Everything that we know went wrong long ago, and it became a powerful, institutionalized beast, just as scriptures call it.
That's why I keep telling people, if y'all think that we're still waiting for a tribulation, we've been in it and going through it over and over and over. We're ready for this thing to come to an end so they can get it.
Yeah.
That's what we're praying for now, right? To be worthy, to not be partakers in none of that no more. I don't want to go through slavery and all that stuff. So
No.
no,
I'm not going.
you does not.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a martyr.
You gonna be a martyr?
Man, they got me messed up.
Hey, I'm not going. I'm telling you, I'm not going. It's important that we consider the impact that Constantine had on our accepted customs, because he filtered out the Hebrew roots of the faith. The habits of the Western pagan Gentiles, like Sunday, Easter, Saturnalia, Samhain, towers, and many familiar symbols were carried along and blended into the Nazarene faith as a matter of state policy.
So they made it law,
Yeah.
right? Just like it is a law,
We're going to mix it together and make it a law.
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeshua's death and resurrection occurred at the time of Passover. Since the Gentiles of the Western localities were in the habit of their faith, of their earth mother fertilization festival, Easter, they continued to keep it in a new perspective when they converted to Christianity.
Again, you just Christianize everything, right? Okay, keep going.
Okay, the early Nazarene, who were less inclined to enculturate,
Like you said, I ain't going.
Yeah,
They ain't like, I ain't going for all that.
the paganism, were disturbed as they witnessed the Gentiles' changes. Since they continued to observe the Passover, it meant even more to them than ever before. Yeshua had revealed the mystery that Passover had foreshadowed. We know there was a controversy concerning the alterations made by Constantine when he set up Sunday and Easter, replacing covenant commandments.
Because, right, it was supposed to be Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread, right?
Yeah. In
Eusebius.
in Eusebius' ecclesiastical history, there is the record of the following letter written by an elder, Polycrates, to Victor of the Church of Rome.
We're actually gonna skip this. So basically, in like the 1st and 2nd century, there were people that were still keeping Passover. Sometimes they would have to do it secretly, but they were still keeping it. So I'm gonna skip ahead because we're a little bit behind. So let me get to, and I think that's good. Yeah, this one. Go ahead.
Okay. He was exasperated at the spectacle. What did he witness? He saw the authentic, raw, and abominable pagan festival of the winter solstice. Saturnalia, also called Pagalia, the nativity festival of the sun.
So again, Easter is always connected to Christmas. Point blank, period. That's what that is saying to make it easy. Go ahead.
The ivy was considered the sacred plant of Saturn. So this custom has become an important feature of the nativity all over the earth. It was an ancient belief that the winter sun was slowly dying because it was seen rising further and further to the south each morning. Solstice means sun. Stop. By December 25th, the ancient world's solstice, it could be recognized as beginning to return northward and was said to be reborn. It marked the time for a celebration that lasted for days.
So again, so they would worship the S-U-N, right? But we're supposed to worship the Most High through His Son, right? S-O-N. There's a difference. They worship something, but they don't even know what they're worshiping. Sunday worship. Okay.
Carved
Romans
idols were exchanged. People hung wreaths on their doors or wore them around their necks. Okay, where's this stuff at?
An echo of the symbol of Nimrod, the branch of a tree twisted into a circle, symbolic of the shape of the sun. The annual cycle. Go ahead.
What's that? Hawaiians use a LAI, a circle of brightly colored flowers as a sacred religious emblem of protection and friendship. This rebirth of the sun came 9 months after Easter, when the Earth Mother was impregnated by the sun at the crossing of. It don't even sound real.
But
man.
this is what happens if you celebrate Easter and Christmas. This is what you're worshiping.
Oh man.
This is rebellion.
Yeah, the sun at the crossing of the vernal equinox, when Mithras, the sun, slayed the bull.
What you were talking about.
And the sun moved into the next constellation, bringing on warmer weather. If all of this sounds complicated and wild, that's why it's called the sacred mysteries.
Sacred mystery.
Sacred.
And telling you who they are all the time, folks.
Right in your face.
Plain sight.
So again, Christmas and Easter are connected. So what do y'all know about Lent?
Who?
Lent.
It's in a jar.
Yeah. A lot of it.
Slug in my pocket.
Something to do with
I've heard of it, but I don't know
Roman.
what it was for though.
something to do with the Roman Catholics, but I never did get into it. I mean, it just kind of went over my
Huh?
head.
You give up something for
What
a
is it?
week, that's all I remember hearing.
Well, it's longer than a week, but yeah.
You give up something.
Yeah, it's like a 40-day pass, 40-day fast. My bad. So yeah, the Lent connection, right? Jamal, you feel like still reading, or you good?
Gotcha.
Okay.
Now what is, inviolate Lent's, then came this observance.
Talking about Lent.
The 40 days abstinence of Lent was directly borrowed from the worshippers of the Babylonian goddess.
Who's the Babylonian goddess?
Ishtar.
Ishtar. Now Lent is supposed to allegedly has to do with Mashiach. Because remember, before Mashiach did any miracles, before Passover, he went on a 40-day fast.
Yeah.
So Lent is supposed to be paying homage to that, right?
Yeah.
Look, you read what that just said, right? And this is from the book The Two Babylons. Traditions of Men. Fair use for educational and training purposes only.
Such a Lent of 40 days in the spring of the year is still observed by the
Yes, it is.
Yazidis or pagan devils, worshippers of quarterstand, who have inherited it from their early masters, the Babylonians. Such a Lent of 40 days was held in spring by the pagan Mexicans. For thus we read in Humboldt, where he gives account of Mexican observances.
So again, Lent didn't have nothing to do with Mashiach. It has everything to do with the Queen of Heaven.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 days after the vernal equinox began a solemn fast of 40 days in honor of the sun. Such a Lent of
In honor of who?
the sun.
The son of the Most High?
No, the actual sun.
Oh, the sun in the sky?
Yeah, with the U in it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Such a Lent of 40 days was observed in Egypt, as may be seen on consulting Wilkinson's Egyptians. This Egyptian Lent of 40 days, we are informed by Landseer in his Sabaean researches, was held expressly in commemoration of Adonis or Osiris, the great
Mediatorial.
god. At the same time, the rape of
Persephone.
seems to have been commemorated in a similar manner.
So then it's tied to another wicked act and another wicked thing, right? Okay. I'm telling you.
For Julius Firmicus informs us that for 40 nights the wailing for Persephone continued, and for Artemis we learn that the fast which the pagans observed, called Castus, or the sacred, fast? Was by the Christians in his time believed to have been primarily in imitation of the long fast of Sirius.
So all this stuff, none of this got to do with Mashiach. It's about other beings, other gods, goddesses, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that the same thing?
Nope.
Okay. Among the pagans, this Lent seems to have been an indispensable preliminary to the great annual festival in commemoration of the death and resurrection of Tammuz.
Who's Tammuz?
The child of Nimrod and
Shut
his
up,
mama.
that lady.
She's at that lady.
Nimrod and mama.
Okay.
The death and resurrection of him, oh man.
The son, S-U-N.
Yeah. Which was celebrated by alternate weeping and rejoicing, and which in many countries was considerably later than the Christian festival, being observed in Palestine and Assyria in June.
Oh, for real, John? That's what you've been up to?
Therefore called the month of Tammuz in Egypt about the middle of May, and in Britain sometime in April, to consolate the pagans to nominal Christianity.
Good old Rome.
Rome, pursuing its usual policy, took measures to get the Christian and pagan festivals, what is that?
Amalgamated. Make them one.
Wow. And by a complicated but skillful adjustment of the calendar, it was found no difficult matter in general to get paganism and Christianity, now for sunken idolatry, in this as in so many other things, to shake hands.
Okay, we are almost done. I know we've been up here a while. I was trying to push us through earlier. We got sidetracked.
And is that the blend of the 7 religions?
Oh, yeah.
into one?
Oh yeah, that's what they do. They Christianize, Catholicize, making everything universal. Like, let's all get on the same page. Let's get on one accord to Mother Earth.
To one God.
To
one God.
or Goddess.
That's happening now, that.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
This change of the calendar in regard to Easter was attended with momentous consequences. It brought into the church the grossest corruption and the rankest superstition in connection with the abstinence of Lent.
This don't sound like a good thing. This don't sound good at all. Okay, keep going.
Let anyone only read the atrocities that were commemorated during the sacred feast or fast or pagan Lent, as described by Barnabas and Clemens Alexandrius, and surely he must blush for the Christianity of those who, with the full knowledge of all these abominations, went down to Egypt for help, to stir up the languid devotion of the degenerate church, and who could find no more excellent way to revive it
So they were trying to revive this dead thing, right?
than by borrowing from so polluted a source the
Absurdities.
absurdities and abominations connected with which the early Christian writers had held up to scorn.
So right, so this thing was just wicked, and they had to go to Egypt to get it right, right? Okay.
Man,
We got like 3 slides after this one.
now what is that word?
Gisela.
Gisela. Speaking of the Eastern Church in the 2nd century in regard to Paschal observances,
Pascal is Passover. Okay.
says, in it, the Paschal festival in commemoration of the death of Christ, they, what's that?
They're the Eastern Church. They eat.
Eastern Christians, what?
They eat unleavened bread.
Unleavened bread, probably like the Jews.
Mm-hmm.
8 days throughout, there is no trace of a yearly festival of a resurrection among them, for this was kept every Sunday.
So there were people that were actually keeping it the right way, except for the Catholic Church, right? Okay.
In regard to the Western Church at a somewhat later period, the age of Constantine, 15 days, seems to have been observed to religious exercises in connection with the Christian Paschal feast.
Wait a minute. The Most High told us to do this for 8 days. The church is saying 15 days. That's a little weird. Okay, keep going.
As appears from the following extracts from Bingham, kindly furnished to me by a friend, although the period of fasting is not stated.
So now we're going to see how they implemented this. This should be the last 3 slides. So how it was implemented.
Bingham says the
So
solemn nights of Pasch, the week before and the week after Easter Sunday, 1 week of the cross, the other of the resurrection. The ancients speak of the passion and resurrection Pasch as a 15 days.
Solemnity.
15 days was enforced by law by the empire.
So you didn't have a choice. You had to keep it 15 days, right?
And commanded to the universal church. Scaliger mentions a law of Constantine ordering 2 weeks for Easter and a vacation of all legal processes.
So everything legal stops, and it's 2 weeks guaranteed. Constantine, right? What's up, June? So they were forced to keep it, right? So the Council of Aurelia, the last 2.
The words of Socrates, writing on this very subject about AD 450, are these: those who inhabit the princely city of Rome fast together before Easter 3 weeks, excepting the Saturday and Lord's Day. But at last, when the worship of Astarte was rising into the ascended steps were taken to get the whole Chaldean Lent of 6 weeks or 40 days made imperative on all within the Roman Empire of the West.
So now he said when the worship of Easter was rising. So that ain't got nothing to do with Passover. They've always known this. Our people just want to stay in ignorance, right? That's what it is.
The way was prepared for this by a council held at Aurelia in the time of
Hormisdas?
Okay, Bishop of Rome, about the year 519, which decreed that Lent should be solemnly kept for Easter.
Because before that, they were actually doing that after it. They would wait till 3 days after the vernal equinox, then they would have 40 days of Lent. Now they're switching it to before, just trying to be like Christ, right?
It was with the view, no doubt, of carrying out this decree that the calendar was a few days after readjusted by
Dionysus.
This decree could not be carried out all at once. About the end of the 6th century, the first decisive attempt was made to enforce the observance of the new calendar.
This is the last slide.
It was in Britain that the first attempt was made in this way, and here the attempt met with vigorous resistance. The difference in point of time. Now, what is that word?
Between.
It don't look like between.
It says betwixt. It just means between.
Betwixt the Christian Pasch as observed in Britain by the native Christians and the pagan Easter enforced by Rome. At the time of its enforcement was a whole month.
So then they make him keep it a whole month. Now, this next one is the point.
And it was only by violence and bloodshed at last that the festival of the Anglo-Saxon or Chaldean goddess came to supersede that which had been held in honor of Christ.
So only by blood and violence, we were forced to keep this thing.
Yeah.
You didn't or you die. We have a choice now. We don't have to. So fully come out of her. Men, make your hands strong. Be heads of your household. Let's get it together. Apologies that took so long, but we kind of got sidetracked earlier. Did that make sense? Do y'all have questions? If not, then June, pray us out, young man.
God, I'd like to thank you for this day. Thank you for waking us up today to enjoy another day that you've granted us, Father. Thank you for this lesson today. And as we part our ways, I ask that you stay with us, be with us, keep us, and help us stay strong in our faith and worshiping you and only you, God. Shalom.
Shalom. So everybody, thank y'all for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. I am Yehuda. This is YAH'S Assembly. So yeah, until next time, we'll see y'all on Midrash. Whoa.